Welcome to Alpha Book Club. This is the world's best online interactive book club that you can join anywhere with the internet. And that's true. I'm like the magical sitar in Moulin Rouge. I only speak the truth. I'm your host, Rachel Hine, and joining me, as always, are my favorite people, Geek Bombs mod Garrett.
And we can get it in time.
Yeah!
Oh, man.
And host of the new show, Animation Investigation, Hector Navarro. Ew.
Oh, that's not what we do to wine.
That's gross. And always welcome to you, our Alpha community in the chat. We are so excited that you're on this journey with us. And we're wrapping up Harry Potter and the Prisoner of Azkaban. And if you're watching this later in the future, come chat with us sometime. So we finished the book.
Yes,
and
great book.
It's so good.
Great book.
And we also have, I know Java Boogie Girl is on a much needed vacation tonight.
Yeah.
Someone, I don't know who, is keeping track of the house points in the chat because we find
I'm not
out.
sure who passed the buck on. I'm assuming Bucky.
It's
Pass the Bucky on?
Yeah.
Steven,
Pun
why are you trolling?
What?
Says, everyone agrees this is the worst of the 7, right? No.
I'm going to
It's
throw
the-
my shoe
That's
at
the
you.
opposite.
Book or movie? Because both so
maybe
far
I'll
are
throw
the
a
best.
shoe.
Ooh, also, you're banned. Everyone in the chat is also going through the, is this technically a meme? The thing that was floating around on the internet today, which was that the song that was #1 when you turned 14, what does it explain? Defines your life?
Oh my gosh, you know what mine is?
Yeah, you just looked it up. What is it?
Mine is by Jennifer Lopez with Ja Rule, I'm Real.
What a great song.
The murder remix, that's the one you wanted?
So I got Ain't It Funny, but I
who?
wanted, that's J-Lo.
I got
and-
Kings of Leon, Sex is on
No,
Fire.
you did not. in like 2006 or something. Get out of here, Mod.
I think, but I wanted
Sex on
that
Fire.
or All I Have.
Can't sing it, I can't sing it.
You can't sing it.
No,
But
what are you doing? Oh my
know.
God, Hector was like 6 seconds into it. He's
I
like,
just before we started rolling was like, you cannot sing anything.
I want to sing the
But-
John Williams Harry Potter theme.
you
God.
I know,
cannot.
So
but we
good.
can't. Think about it in your head. But we're finishing the 3rd book, and Java Boogie Girl
Yes.
got us these amazing illustrated
Yes.
editions when we first started, and they're so beautiful.
So I actually started putting up on Instagram story some of the art from it because it's
Yeah.
so beautiful. Like the ones that go over the double pages, the Dementor, I think they absolutely nailed the look of this frightening creature.
Can you
where it
pull
was
up
like,
one of those for us?
Betcha's right at the back.
Yeah, oh, there's a few really
Rachel's got a
good
good one.
ones from these.
This is the one that I love, which
Yeah.
is pretty much what I'm wearing on my dress
Yes.
as well.
Beautiful.
This
Who's the
giant
artist?
Patronus.
Who's the artist of this book?
Jim
Illustrator.
Kay.
Who?
Jim Kay.
Jim Kay. Gorgeous illustration. I love mine at home. It's a very big, beautiful book, and I was looking
Big,
around a bunch of
big,
stuff
big
today.
book.
Just look at the herbology.
Yeah.
Oh, my arm is. That's really beautiful.
Back over here gets you the.
Oh yeah, the Dementor
And
is really
the third
cool.
one, I think, is
And look
the
at
most
this tiny
recent.
wisp, which is like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wait, wrong hand.
This is
Peter Pettigrew, who's
That's
perfectly
very good.
cast. Perfectly cast.
That's very good. Yeah.
I don't know, he was a little chunky, but that's, it was fine.
Yeah.
They like to make their chunky characters skinny and their skinny characters chunky, but that's
Look at
fine by me.
Crookshanks.
Crookshanks is great.
Hero of the story.
Yeah.
Crookshanks the
MVP.
cat.
Man, that looks like someone's toupee or
Oh, there are so
Dare I
many
say
cats like that
Butthole.
that I want to smooch on their smushed faces.
Yeah.
So we finished up the book, and did you both rewatch the movie?
I didn't get to do it the whole time because here's a fresh kind of hell that I've been subjected to.
Oh, no.
My internet would be on for 5 to 10 minutes and then disconnect for 5 to 10 minutes throughout the course of the last 3 days.
no.
So
You can't
I
survive that.
got through it a little bit, but didn't get the whole way through.
And that's why I have physical media. That's literally it. I have the Harry Potter movies on Blu-ray. I'll
Well,
let you borrow them.
Boo, Hector,
No,
boo.
physical media is
slime,
great.
filth, muck, bear.
Rubbish.
I mean, I don't need internet to enjoy my movies. just power, I guess.
Yeah, you need electricity.
Just
Good luck when the grid goes out, buddy.
DeMarco Draws knows exactly where my head's at with this competition.
Yeah.
I'm trying to play it so cool, but I was gone last week, and I'm like nearly half of Rachel's points. And he says 20 points to Maud Garrett because a PayPal payment just showed up to chat to vote for her. It's so true, guys. Never mind.
Really?
I,
Are you bribing?
I wasn't. I was not going to mention it. I was like, Maud, last time you played too hard.
When
like,
you lie. Look at that. You're crying right now.
I cry when I lie?
Yeah.
I cry when I lie? Severus, Albus Severus is a lie?
Yes.
Is a lie? If I cry, does that make it more of a lie, or am I just upset right now?
No, it's that's. Look at that. That's nope. You wait. Are you paying to vote for yourself? Can people vote for us?
No,
Is that what's
it
happening?
was a joke.
They're awarding us points.
Okay.
And we will find.
I wasn't going to say a damn thing. I was like, just let it ride out, Maud, whatever. No one needs a competitive fool on the show. And then that happened, and I was like...
Last time you went real hard, and you got penalized for
I
it.
know.
Also penalized.
Gryffindor likes a challenge shit, doesn't it?
So, end of the book.
Yeah.
The last that we saw, let's recap what happened and kind of talk through the book, and then I want to talk about the film, because even though you didn't rewatch it, you've seen it.
I actually did watch a really great video, which is what techniques that Alfonso Cuarón used that made this such a brilliant movie that he directed. So I want to impart some of that knowledge.
Yes.
That'd be
Yeah,
great.
great.
I want to hear that. Yeah.
So we'll wrap up with the film. But last time, Harry snuck into Hogsmeade, and he and Ron were at the Shrieking Shack. Malfoy saw Harry at Hogsmeade, and Snape caught him. Harry had to turn over the Marauder's map to Snape, and it insulted him in...
that was a beautiful moment.
Yeah, in a typical Moony, Padfoot, Wormtail, and Prongs fashion. And then Lupin finds it and somehow knows what it is, and basically is like, shame on you. Your father died for you, and which is like, whoa, you're my teacher.
Back it up a little bit. Can I just say that if I was at school with Moony, Padfoot, and or Prongs, I would be trying so hard to flirt up a storm and slip a love potion.
Oh.
I have some thoughts I need to get into on the Marauders and some shipping. That's maybe it's probably not unpopular.
I ship Parchment and Maud. Love Parchment is my favorite word. Say it. 1, 2, 3.
Parchment.
Oh,
It is a good word.
it's such a good word.
It's a very good word.
Shipping.
I also really like the term, which I learned from reading every Nancy Drew book available, in cahoots.
You can have that one.
Thanks,
That's
Erin.
all yours.
Harry sees the Grim again, and then Buckbeak is sentenced to death because Malfoy sucks. Hermione is late, missing classes all the time. We also talked about this last week.
Yeah, we disagreed hard with you.
We disagree with you.
Yeah.
Me or
On
Hermione?
about Hermione.
No, what a little sniving brat. That's such a shit friend trait.
Nope.
You just don't do that.
She's trying to protect him.
What does Gryffindor stand for? Loyalty.
Bravery. It's brave to stand up to your friends when you know they're going to get mad at you.
Neville.
Nice. You're wrong,
Neville
Maud.
gets hot
You're
later,
wrong.
so
Neville got married.
I know.
Neville got married on the weekend.
He can really wear
really?
a suit.
Whew.
Yeah.
Nice. Good for him. Who did he get married to?
50 points to his
know,
new
lady.
wife, by the way.
good.
Being-
Yeah, 50 points to his new wife, yeah. Well done.
No, I'm sorry, but it was really annoying for me because there is this camaraderie, and it's a very isolating thing that she can't apologise. Neither can Ron. But you know, like she's just a bit of a brat. Said it. I would never have done that. I would never do it.
Harry was being a bit of a brat.
Yeah.
And I think it was really,
Harry
really
got
hard.
the first actual present of his life.
Yes.
Not a knitted sweater from his fake mum. Not, like.
But she
Harry-
really thought that it was bewitched to kill him, and it's not like he hasn't almost died in almost every Quidditch match.
Every
talking
year
through.
at school.
She did it behind his back.
Every
She
year
was
at
sneaky.
school,
She
he's
was
a target.
conniving and
She
cunning.
tried to talk to him about it, and he
Yeah.
wouldn't do it. And
There was
she
no
thought that he had a
compromise.
death wish because he does.
And I picked up on this, and I wanted to ask you guys about it. I don't know if this is something that they'll go into the books later, or if this is what J.K. meant to do on purpose, but I felt like you mentioned, Maude, that Hermione feels isolated in this, and this is the year where they're 13 now. That it's a little bit of a becoming a boys' club, and Hermione's there, and maybe she's going through stuff that they're not going through. Maybe she's aging faster or maturing faster
She's
mentally.
also stressing herself out
Stressing
and
herself.
taking.
She's
She's got
taking
that
a
like
lot on.
valedictorianism.
So all of that's happening, and it's getting, I think, easier for Ron and Harry to regress into that dude camaraderie that they're not letting her in, because it's hard, I think, too, for boys at that age to be platonic friends with girls. Something it get a little weird.
If you found $50,000 in a suitcase and you showed your friends,
Would it murder me?
No. Well, you don't know. It's $50,000. Maybe it's bad money. Maybe it's blood money. You
Yeah.
don't know. Maybe
Blood
someone's
money
coming
is
after
different
it.
from like, if it was
Let's try to make this analogy
you tell the police?
closer in comparison to what's
because
happening
this
in Harry
is something
Potter.
that could kill him.
You find a suitcase with $50,000. On the news the next day, you hear notorious serial killer has lost $50,000 and he's looking for it, and he will kill the person who finds it.
and he has a hook for a hand.
That scenario is like, yeah, I'm
very
gonna
important.
want you to turn in the money, best friend, because otherwise you're gonna get killed.
There is absolutely no way they
Yeah.
could trace the money, spend it, get it out there, give it to your friends. And you know what? You don't give it to your friends that rat on you. Don't you realize that the person who's the worst in this movie is a rat? Because we are taught we do not like rats. That's why I do not like Hermione's attitude, because she ratted on her friends.
But I
Thank
think
you,
it's
full
more.
circle.
I see what you're saying,
Rats
and
get a
I
bad rap.
appreciate what. I cannot believe he slept with a rat in his bed. I don't care if he's
Okay,
a person
actually,
or not.
that is a whole other conversation.
What
If,
if
Zel-
that
if
was
Zelda
crying?
all of a sudden transformed in front of me and she was a person being like, psych, thanks for the cuddles, and I'd be
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
Yeah, it's all
Wormtail was
very.
crawling around in a
betrayed.
prepubescent boy's nuts, just like, I'll sleep here, that's fine, thanks boy, you're such a good master.
Hector.
It's gross, that's what happened.
It is gross, but also he slept with a rat in his bed.
It's disgusting.
It's
But
disgusting.
That in itself
I
is
think-
gross.
But I think, well, I want to get to the Marauders. There's so much to talk about. There's some of my favorite characters, and if J.K. Rowling were ever to, I always do the opposite of what I think it should be, to do a prequel and write it and not have it be a play that's written by someone else
yeah.
or a movie. It's capitalizing on, but I would want something about the Marauders, either a book series or a TV show. I love them, and I think it's about loyalty. They would rather die than betray their friend. Hermione would rather them hate her than for Harry to die. She's not doing
hold
it
on,
to
what-
be a snitch. She's doing it because she wants to protect
But then
him.
I get punished
Yeah.
for actually hating her for it?
No.
Okay.
You're
cool.
entitled to
say
your opinion.
yes,
I'm
you
just
do get
explaining
punished.
my.
Yes, I say you do.
Okay.
No.
It's not hating her. I was just very infuriated with her decision to do that.
Yeah.
And there was a few things where it was like, man, Hermione, like, you just don't want friends.
But she didn't do it the second time. There was two
She was going to,
chances.
and yeah,
there was two chances to
The Marauders
to,
map. She was going to
to-
tell on her.
and
about
then
that.
she
she
didn't.
didn't.
But she
And then
didn't.
She didn't.
Yeah.
But she did with the could have been a ticking time bomb, a magical ticking time bomb gift that it came from
and
nobody knows
Harry
from where.
has been bewitched during
That is true.
those games, and the Dementors were there, so it's a precarious situation. Speaking of,
You have to catch the snitch, not be one.
quit. Ooh, she should get points for that.
I'll second that. I'll second that.
What am I doing?
I know. Just let it happen. I tried to give
Well,
you
now take him
one.
away, because she said seconded herself. Got to take him away.
No,
Yeah.
I didn't. I said just a second. I have a point to make.
Oh, which is what? Here's some
really
wine.
good wine.
Yeah, it's really good. Wine.
I am wine, hear me roar. What was my thing again?
I am
Hear me pour.
House
pour.
Mod, Hear Me Pour, Tale as Old as Wine, and I'll never remember yours.
Mine is
It's Wazza.
I'm real.
Hector, that's a nice drop.
That's a nice draw. How about Hector? I like wine.
My wine.
My wine.
There, perfect.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
it. That's done.
Great.
Yeah.
It'll say my wine
12,
parentheses Borat
12
voice.
weeks. 12 weeks of talking about Harry Potter. We finally came up with your sigil.
My wine.
My wine.
Perfect.
I love it. It's really good.
I'll remember it.
So yeah, that one's easy to remember. So speaking of Quidditch, Gryffindor beats Slytherin in the House Cup, which we were saying last week. I mean, what an emotional scene that was, where he finally feels like he.
Oh, I read it.
Yeah, he read it out loud.
It broke me. It was like a great match. JK is so good at writing descriptions of sports that it's like
It's
thrilling.
the only time I've ever cared about
Same.
sports.
It was like
Yeah.
nail biting to listen
It
to it
was.
as well,
Yeah.
because it was the
It
actual
was.
commentary,
It
and you're
moves,
like,
but
"Whoa."
at the
Yeah.
end, when she describes that, like, what's the older boy who wanted to win real bad?
Oliver Wood.
Oliver Wood. When it
had
just
a
like when
picture
he
of
just
him.
like when he just like hugs Harry and starts sobbing uncontrollably, like when the way she describes that, and then they just hear two more thumps, which are the Weasley
Yeah.
brothers, and everybody like.
Yeah.
I love
And it was the
Weasley
best, and then Harry
brothers.
was like, "This would make a pretty good Patronus. This moment right now it was
Yeah,
awesome."
he could have conjured the best Patronus.
So
So
good.
that's where we left off. Then this section of the book is where it goes from this is a great book to this is an amazing book. Because
Yeah.
when I read this for the first time, there were like 5 huge revelations
Yeah.
in all of these chapters where I,
Oh, yeah.
as a 13-year-old,
Didn't see any of them coming.
At all. In when you read it now, you're like, okay, I can see. When you know the ending, you can see kind of the seeds that are being.
They're hinting at Hermione the whole book. They're like, Hermione, you better travel on time at the right. You know, you're just like, okay, like she's obviously time traveling.
Yeah, but we didn't know how.
No,
and
there's no way I did. No, I
didn't.
didn't.
Yeah, I
get
think
it
it's
the first
more
time I was 13.
because it's magic. So you're like, it's something, but it doesn't necessarily mean that it's going to tie into the story in such an intricate way. So basically, let's start from the beginning. So
it's a very good place to start.
Thanks. They go to. They're taking their exams. And Buckbeak gets executed. They go down to Hagrid's, which is so upsetting. And Hermione is so upset. She has this whole. She just seems like she's broken by the adults, which I feel like she has a lot in this. Well, in general, because Lockhart and Snape and all of these adults, it's kind of a theme. And then
she got called a. No one likes a. What is it? A snobby. What is it? A know-it-all?
Something know-it-all. Yeah.
Oh, that was. So you don't
Snape
talk to
was
someone.
on another level.
No teacher ever has ever been dissuaded or put out by a student that wants to learn.
Except for Snape, because
that's
he's
not true.
Really?
Yeah.
Really? That's the only reason why I faked getting like a whole grade better than I did. Because I pretended that I wanted to learn.
There's many good people and bad people, and some of them are teachers. Yeah.
Man, if you're a shit teacher and you're watching, stop it.
Yeah.
Watch, you're going to go into class tomorrow morning and give a kid an F just because of that. They'll be like, that Maud Garrett, she said, no, you fail.
And they
Blame
didn't
Maud
listen.
Garrett.
Yeah.
And they didn't
Find
listen
her on
at
Twitter
all. Hey, but if you're a good teacher, you have the power to shape the world.
Yeah.
Don't fuck it up.
You
should probably get paid a lot more as well.
Yep.
Like a lot more.
100%.
Like a lot more.
Or,
you deserve.
Or have PE every day again, or arts and
Free back rubs.
drama, or school supplies. I don't know. Anyway, I could go on and on. My mom was a public school teacher, but Ron gets attacked by the Grimm, and Harry and Hermione get thrown around by the Whomping Willow. That scene
was hard to watch.
It was, in the movie it's violent, but in this, like, Harry wipes the blood from his face, like that to me, where I was like, oh, he hit his head hard.
Yeah.
And it's a really scary moment, and you don't know where they're going. They end up in the Shrieking Shack, and then we get to, it's almost like an I Am Your Father moment.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
That's impossible. Yeah, for sure.
Because you see Sirius Black, there's no reason for us to believe anything else. The moment that I remember that Lupin embraces him like a brother, and you're just like, no, this is one of the first, like, teachers that he's bonded with.
Yep.
But the thing is as well with the dog, we've had so much foreshadowing, but I want to introduce a new term called faux shadowing.
I love it.
Right?
Yeah.
Hector.
It's really good.
Hey.
I'm thinking through all the pop culture things in the world right now that have faux
shadowing.
Yeah.
Oh,
So it's this Grimm. The dog shows up. Even in the movie, I noticed that the cloud took a shape, and I'm like, that's a damn stretch. We really have faux shadowing here, where the dog is symbolic of death. And that was like not the case at all. It's actually his freedom.
His guardian.
Yeah, but there is a lot of death surrounding it, for sure. But yeah, and I'm trying to think of what the Chekhov's smoking gun opposite would be, like a water gun. Anyway, where if you show a gun, something like that. But yeah, I that revelation, I don't know, how did it work for you, because you'd seen the movie, so you knew it was coming, but how did this section read for you?
I knew it was coming, and I was paying very close attention to how JK was writing Sirius, and it could have easily fell into a thing of like, well, he's written as a bad guy up until the twist, and it's not consistent, but it's not the case, because everything that he says, everything that is said about him lines up with, well, he has kind of gone crazy. And even from the beginning, he's at Hogwarts, with the things that he's muttering at Azkaban, and then he breaks it. He's obsessed. And then later it kind of goes and justifies all that. So like, I thought that it was very well done in the book. I will say this, when we get to the revelation, there was like 3 or 4 or 5 extra pages of everybody just being too incredulous, where they're like, but wait, that can't be, Professor Lupin, but wait, but no, or we'll explain. But no, there's no time.
Let me start at the beginning and tell you a thorough encounter of the
Dr.
entire.
Lupin, but
Janet.
we have to, seriously. We have to explain. But look, there's Crookshanks, there's no more rat. And I was just like, guys, everybody shut up.
Please,
Somebody,
yeah.
like, just get to the explanation that we're now, like, ready for.
But you know how you do that to get
13
attention? You say the big thing. Right, now that I've got your attention, you want to shut up and you want to know how I get
It's an
there.
Elaborate.
Agatha
Sure.
Christie move.
Yes, it is.
It's
It really
like
is.
you're like, wait, but how? Well, it's or Clue as
Yeah.
well,
Yeah.
where you.
It was so here.
Yeah.
I'll tell you why. Yeah.
That movie's so good. Another Tim Curry, but
Yes.
that was good. That was really good. That was a really good.
My Tim Curry is
I'm
from the
blind
wild,
too. Are you kidding me?
from the Wild Thornberries. It's Eliza. It's a little.
That's your Tim
Eliza.
Curry.
That's my Tim Curry.
That's
it's
really
definitely-
upsetting.
That's the thing I go to do the Tim Curry voice, which is Eliza.
Rocky Horror, Legend, Fern Gully, Clue,
Muppet Treasure Island.
Muppet Treasure Island, Home Alone
Home
2.
Alone too. That is like my start and end.
So, I love Tim Curry. Anyway, Tim Curry Club.
Yeah.
Yes, Annie. Sorry,
Okay.
I got really excited.
yes,
I won't.
Annie.
That's the one where I really want to sing.
Don't you can't.
I'm not going to. I'm not going to.
Muppet Treasure Island. That's
But
great
Easy
too.
Street. I want to.
Just I can hear it in my
wanna
head.
sing it.
Yeah.
Don't. Nope. Okay.
Easy Street.
That's not how it
There you
goes.
go.
so that's
That was
good.
wrong.
Got it.
So that's fine.
Got it. Got it. Nailed it.
So, and then we've this scene kind of. It's interesting that you felt like Hermione was the rat because to me that solidified. And you're not punished for your opinion.
Yeah.
You're still.
I'm punishing you. I punish you.
I can't. Ow.
Yeah. I did
No.
punish you.
Hiss. But sorry, Dan was dressed as a cat today, and
Oh, did it do things? Did it awaken something within?
no, I just
Was there an
wanted to
awkward
hiss.
pause?
Yeah. So Rocky Horror Picture Show, Clue, Legend.
Somebody said Congo?
Oh, Pennywise. Yeah, it also.
That's something I've
Yeah,
never seen.
he's in Fern Gully. He's Hexus.
Hexus. Is that the bad guy?
Is that the
Yeah,
slop? The
yeah,
slop?
he's
No,
the
I thought
muck
that was-
pollution.
The
I thought that was
grime?
No.
I thought that was who am I thinking of? The
Robin
guy,
Williams
the
was
black guy
the
from Ace Ventura.
baddie?
The guy that talks like this. This guy. The one that has that song that was a hit in the 90s. You guys know which one I'm talking about? Tone Loc. I thought that was Tone Loc in
No.
Fern Gully.
The of Hexus?
Yeah, who does Tone Loc play?
Someone Google it.
What cartoon character? I'll look it up. You guys keep talking.
I don't think I've seen Fern Gully since I was 7.
It holds up.
Yeah, no, my brother got it for me on DVD a couple of years
If you
ago. 'cause
saw
he still loves it.
a movie in
My brother's 34.
Titan A. Totally different.
Okay.
I
Well,
got
if you
points
saw
for
a movie
hiss.
in 2009 called Avatar, you did see Fern Gully, so that was the one you last saw it.
Or Pocahontas or any, white.
I
sailor
can't sing that
movie.
one either. Nearly did it.
No. But okay, so the Marauders. Here's
Yes.
a question for you
More wine,
because
please. Sorry.
Oh, he's also in Zootopia. Excellent.
So when I saw
No, he's in Fern Gully: The Last Rainforest. He plays Goanna.
who's that?
Oh,
The one with
Goanna.
the big lizard guy, the Komodo dragon. That's Tone Loc.
yeah.
Thank you.
Wow,
okay.
I forgot
Tim
about
Curry
the
and Tone
lizard
Loc.
guy.
Yeah.
Nice.
Komodo dragon.
He's scary. Are we not giving actor anymore?
Oh, I'm sorry.
You know what? You're double punished. No, I don't want your punish wine. All right, fine.
Oh God, I'm really worried.
I'll drink it all.
I've had too much caffeine.
It
in my
actually, if
hands.
you look at it, it's
Careful.
really evenly distributed.
It
It's very
actually
good.
is.
Distributed.
But the one thing about, there are many parts of the movies where I felt like they shortchanged the characters, but I feel like the Marauders and their friendship, and it's just the beginning in this, but it's so important, and I feel like they kind of rushed through it with the Marauders map in the movie.
I will give you that.
Yeah.
This is the first time. This is the first time.
Really?
I kind of did fall in love.
Because it's not about them. It's
Right.
not about the relationship.
about the map.
It's
so
about-
much so.
yeah.
So much so. I've seen all the movies. I did not realize
Their names?
that Mooney, Padfoot, Wormtail, and Prongs
Were them.
Were them.
And the animals that they
And
are. They don't even talk
if
about
they
it
cover
really.
it in the movie, it's really, really quick. But
do
here's
talk
the thing.
about
Here's
They
the thing.
do,
I just
but
know.
like,
It's
very-
assimilated so hard.
if they
They
do, it
reference the
doesn't-
stag
Yeah.
a little bit,
Yeah.
and you kind of put it together.
You know Mooney because he's.
But they don't. they don't rest on it. It's
There
like
is-
an
yes,
aside.
there's
But I
not-
think the map is so important, and it's an amazing, incredible like artifact, really, that you can't have that outshone in any
Yeah.
capacity. You need to let that be and then unveil it. And I think the way that she
Ooh.
does release information, yeah, it can be done in a later book.
Yeah, there's but in the movie I'm saying. But we have a poll going up right now. Which Marauder do you like the best?
Poor Wormtail.
40%.
Yeah, I'm
everyone's
sorry,
like-
but if you vote Wormtail, you get a little word with me.
Yeah, but
You
everyone's
did
like,
get the
How dare you,
fuck that guy.
Steven.
stop trailing.
Oh, Lost the Number says, which animal is more
Tailing.
smoochable? I'm going to have to go with...
Well, I have a black dog, and trust me, the smooches come
Yeah.
every day.
Padfoot.
Padfoot, right?
Yeah.
Because Mooney can't trust him. Don't know
Does
what he's going to
does anyone
do.
like really
like
have an
Mooney.
adverse reaction to like getting dog kisses?
No.
No.
Yeah. You know?
I love dog kisses, not in the mouth.
No, I get licked on the nose.
That's
My
it.
favorite thing
In
is
the mouth,
I
if
have.
you can
Oh yeah,
avoid
if it's
it.
like if you're opening
Also,
mouths
in
to
the
retrieve
eyes,
a
I'm not a fan
tongue.
because that's how you get pink eye. So don't let
I
your dog
feel
lick
like
you
you
because they'll
should be
lick their
able to
butthole.
prevent that.
think.
Your cat.
My cat.
Pan.
Yeah,
Pants. Fancy.
Pan.
Pantsy man,
Pants.
my little dude, woke me up again by licking my nose. Just a tiny little.
My little
lick
heart
on
can't
the-
take
I
that.
know, it
My
was
little
like,
dead heart.
I've wanted. His dreams do come true. Is what I'm saying.
So I see that and I raise you. I have taught Zelda to give me a kiss after I ask her if she loves me. I go, do you love me? And she'll give me a kiss. I'm like,
Oh
okay.
my god.
That's
you
where
cry.
I'm at in life. Yay.
Nice.
Yes. you're like, how do I train my cat?
Yeah.
No, I definitely
Do you love me?
can't train him.
With clicks, no, not with clicking. Can't you do a thing where like if you feed
He's
your
not a
kitty with
raptor.
little no,
I could totally train a raptor, I'm just saying. So.
yeah, but maybe you can go
Famous
like
last words.
maybe you go like, man, do you love me? And then he'll go up and kiss you and like lick you on the nose.
I don't know how to
We are,
do
we are.
that.
We are.
Okay.
Yeah, so Peter Thulis.
It's not a tongue-to-tongue kiss, everyone.
Thulis?
David Thulis.
Thulis, that's what I said.
David. Not
Oh.
Peter. Peter Pettigrew is played by David Thulis.
No, he's
Lupin.
Lupin.
Is David. Aries, David.
Aries is David Thulis. Peter Pettigrew is played by
He's just
Daniel
got such an
Radcliffe.
extraordinary face, doesn't he?
Yeah.
What was I
Yeah.
saying?
And people don't
that
know
scene
that
with
in-
Aries where they goddamn in the cave. It's so upsetting. They keep the
It's so
mustache.
bad.
Yeah.
It's so
Why
bad.
would he have a British mustache?
No, I don't buy it. I'm sorry. I'm sorry to all the Brits. I don't buy an old British guy as being
No,
Aries,
with
the god of
his-
war.
it's
They
so
should have just
bad.
cast a Greek dude, just a
Yeah.
buff Greek dude.
I know,
and that's
and
it.
that him,
Yes.
like,
He could have
Yep.
transformed or
Yep.
something.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I
Yep.
agree.
Yep.
I agree.
Yep.
Then
Patty.
let's talk about Snape.
Okay.
Thoughts
He's
on Snape at this
huge,
point?
huge piece of shit.
Oh yeah.
He's angry. I mean, he was
He's
bullied.
so blindsided by the fact that he goes, for the first time in a couple of decades, I've got the upper hand. I can show you who's boss. And he refuses to listen. This is the same, like, honestly, we're not learning anything new about his character. It's solidifying his character, where it's like, I don't need answers. I don't need excuses. I don't need to hear anything. I've made my mind up from the get-go.
I think it's interesting too that a lot of bullies have been bullied by someone else, whether it's in their family or whatever. And it's interesting to me to look at Snape and how he's perceiving this group of friends who are trying to hide this big secret. They remind me of Fred and George. Like they feel like I always thought Fred and George were like, I was like, ooh, I like them.
They're a bit naughty.
Yeah, and
I know
I
those
feel like
rules
the
and they like to
yeah.
flirt with them.
Yes, and the Marauders feel like that too, but then they also send him down a path that could have killed him, and so in Snape's mind, they're the bullies. He's like the Neville, basically.
Yeah.
Right.
And so that's so interesting that he has let that anger and hatred consume him to the point of the way he treats Harry, the way he won't trust Lupin, and the way he will not listen to anyone, to the point of screaming at students. And that's teenage Snape coming out. He's so mad.
Yeah.
I want to ask though, if you had trauma from high school, why would you go back to teach?
Right.
Would that A, put you in a constant state of hell? And
Yeah.
He
like,
gets to be the boss.
Or do you
a
finally
power
feel like
play.
you're controlling a situation?
It's a therapeutic thing.
It's like if you go to a reunion
Yeah.
and you feel like you're doing way better than you were in high school, which is a common trope.
That's kind of pathetic. Snape is kind of pathetic.
Oh, he is very
Severus Snape
pathetic.
is
He's
pretty
sad
pathetic.
and
Well, I
angry.
mean, from an exterior point of view, but then you do realize later, spoilers, that he
Wait.
has another.
Yes, there are other reasons. Yeah.
Yeah. And he's literally trying
At
to
this point,
wear a lot of masks. All shit ones.
At this point, because we're pretending that we haven't read anything else or know anything else or whatever, I think all of that is inexcusable. Basically, I think that the character of Snape serves as a way, we've talked about this before, for J.K. to let kids know sometimes the world isn't fair. Sometimes there are good people and bad people, and some bad people are teachers, like you said. Like that's who Snape
And
is.
he's angry, and that
Oh
has
my
twisted
God.
him.
Yeah.
And
If you take out R from Marauders, you get Mords.
whoa!
I like that.
Wow.
I mean, the team, that's easy. Ooh,
Wow.
watch out, a unicorn, one prong.
Oh my God, that'd be so cool. You would be a unicorn.
Would I be a unicorn?
Yeah,
I could see that.
I mean, it's better than a flamingo joining in.
that'd be funny.
That was a question
Obviously,
earlier.
a cat. Also, shout out to Crookshanks, who
Hero, MVP.
knew what was going on.
I
MVP.
really didn't like Crookshanks reading the book, huh? I thought it was like the embodiment of Hermione. Like if Hermione could be like that, she would.
Oh.
I really saw them as a
I think Richard
Crookshanks
disagrees with you.
of.
But Crookshanks was trying to save the day, even if it meant that everyone hated him.
I think we're really revisiting an identical topic with Ron and Hermione, and we
Yeah.
have established that you are the Hermione and I am the Ron.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's true.
I would
am
never
Anne.
have a rat though. No, thank you.
Sleeping in the bed. Not to mention
A
that he's
12-year-old
a
rat.
sniveling
He gets an owl, a little weird
coward
baby
who-
owl.
Yeah.
That's so
That's
cute.
cute.
I love
It
that.
is cute.
And he's just showing Sirius that he's a really decent person. He's thoughtful.
Sirius is the
He
best.
is. Sirius is by far one of my favorite characters in the whole series.
Okay, hasn't he had the toughest run? If you had to feel sorry for one
Yeah.
character,
Yeah.
12 years pent up in this desolate island that literally sucks the happiness out of you. You are sentenced to depression.
How
You're,
does the
his
wizard...
teeth are rotted. You
How does-
notice that? His
Yeah.
teeth have rotted completely. He is on the brink of starvation constantly.
He's like
he eats rats.
He's like Lestat when he's at the
Yeah.
point where he's starving.
At the end, yeah. How does the wizarding justice system work? Because I feel like that was a huge oversight.
We'll get into that.
Okay, good. Because
There's a lot more of that,
that
later
was
on.
some bullshit.
It's
Yeah.
Yeah.
You get cast
It's
into
a trial
depression,
of-
or
of-
your soul gets sucked from
Yeah.
your body.
I feel bad that like our world is weird and foreign to wizards, but we have things like forensic evidence and cameras, and they don't and we can like prove things with cameras and then closed circuit television and stuff, and they don't.
They use
so,
the pensive eventually.
Okay, so
There's-
I hope there's a
It's a
technology.
extraction of memories.
They're
And memories
see.
cannot lie.
which is some
Yes,
very
they can.
they can.
Yes, they
It's
can.
very Black
It's
Mirror.
bullshit. I know we said this before. I want the story after the
I know.
Harry Potter
I
saga,
know.
where like young wizards are like, we gotta fix a lot of stuff in our world, guys. We gotta fix a lot of stuff.
I would love a a noir. This is basically
Yeah.
The Aura Saga.
yeah. Oh my God, it's like the Dresden Files
I
kind
need
of.
a moment.
Think of Harry as like Dresden, basically.
I don't, because Harry's a bit of a muppet sometimes, and
Yeah.
Dresden's like
Yeah,
coolest
Harry
bus
sucks.
around.
Maybe like a serious,
You're Harry.
a serious black
Nah,
is
dude.
Dresden or something like
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, Sirius Black. I would have spoke back to Snape. I'm not Harry. I'm Harry in a lot of ways, but no, I would have
Hold
talked
on,
back
would
to him.
13-year-old Hector have spoken back to Snape?
In a smart-ass, I'm not breaking the rules way, yes.
We haven't
Absolutely.
actually met, or have we?
Because my 13-year-old theme song, I'm Real, by Jennifer Lopez and Ja Rule.
When do?
What's up?
When have we met Luna yet?
Luna Lovegood?
We haven't
Absolutely
yet.
not.
No. Luna is my character. Hermione's too studious to be me. I mean, I like to read and stuff,
bit of-
but
bit-
Rachel, you're
wafty.
reading right now as
Big-
we're doing this show. Look at that. Look,
Oh, no,
you
I
have
can't
you have
show
a book. You have a book right there.
that's a secret. So then we have Peter Pettigrew. Then we have the Dementors come out. Lupin's a werewolf, and the Time Turner, which is it's so well done. Time travel is so
Yes.
hard to
Yes.
do.
Everybody messes it up.
I mean, the turning aspect is incredible, but I love the fact that Dumbledore as a whole has been quite absent in this book. Like, he's really not necessarily been around. Like,
Sure.
This isn't like the first book where he was off campus. He just hasn't been as present, but then he just, boom, places the bait and gives not even like a huge explanation, because he already knows that it worked.
Yeah.
But like, says enough and then sets them off. And this is
No, he
there
doesn't
is-
know that it worked because when he leaves the room, he runs into them again.
But no, because if you
I
think about
think
it,
he knows
I've
it works.
spent a lot of time on this.
Yes.
Oh, because
With-
during Buckbeak.
Yes.
Yeah.
He
Okay.
saw the the children
That's
there.
crazy.
right? And he's like, we've got to come back to sign
Yeah.
the
Do a
document.
signature
Yeah.
here, yes.
Because he was buying them
yeah.
time.
Yeah.
I know, it's so,
So-
well done.
Yeah, so he saw
I'm
Buckbeak
yelling.
being saved, and anytime there's a question of what's the best use of time travel in a movie, I go, well, here's a not time travel movie, but it counts, is Prisoner of Azkaban.
100%.
It is
Yeah.
the best, most flawless use of time travel in a movie or story, and I'm so glad that I finally read it.
Because
One
it
chapter,
deals with
so great.
It deals with paradox in a way
Yeah,
that
it's
many things don't. And I always bring this up, but I love the show 12 Monkeys. They do a really
Mm.
great job. And the movie's great too, but I love the show. But they can't actually change anything. It's already all happened.
That's
Yeah.
it's like,
before.
but what
Yeah.
if? There is no what if.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and he knows that he can do a Patronus because he already did one,
Yeah.
which is bonkers. That's
love
so
But
brilliant.
Have you ever been asked, and this is a question, I don't know if they do it in job interviews or whatever, but it's like,
Yep.
what would you do if you knew you couldn't fail?
Yep. Oh,
Oh,
I've
man.
never been asked that.
Really?
Because I've never failed. I fail
Oh
all
my
the time,
God.
guys. I fail
Well,
all the time.
We've
All
asked
the
if
time, all the
people
time.
would use a time turner. 4% said no, never. 33% only when necessary.
Ooh.
63, 4, 5% yes, of course.
Now, Theory made a great point. The time turner can only maximum go back 5 hours.
Oh,
Yeah.
really?
Yeah.
So 3 turns was the 3-hour mark
hours.
from
Yeah.
midnight
You
to
can-
like 9 p.m.
That's the maximum, or
I think you can only turn
Okay.
it back 5 hours. Theory,
Well-
jump
can we
back
get
with
a
me in there.
fact check on that?
Because
Because I know they did 3 turns and that was 5
I
hours.
kind of
but-
like the fact. No, three
Tell me
turns
a
is
little
3
bit-
hours.
Want to know?
Tell me a little bit more of the time turner, because I think that they do a great job at the end of this book. Hermione gives it back
Yeah.
because really she's
She's
stressed out.
exhausted.
She's overworked. She's
Okay,
overworked.
the other
But
thing-
She
How
should
has
be
she-
able to do that.
How
Correct.
has she not aged 2 years? So this next book, she should be 15 instead of 14 because she's lived the same.
That's
there
the
it is.
maximum?
Yeah.
Interesting.
Because she's lived that same year twice. She was alive
I
during
don't-
that
well,
entire
how
time.
long-
But she's not spending the full time. She's going
Correct.
back like an hour.
A class.
So she's
it's still-
But that
maybe
still adds up.
living
maybe
Wait,
For the whole year?
Let's break this down. Monday through Friday, because I imagine they still have the same week.
Well, how many times do they go to class?
Specific
A week.
time turner can only go 5 hours.
Got it.
Oh, so there's
There are
other.
two true time turners that you can stay in the past for 5 minutes. They can stay in the past as long as they wanted to.
Wow,
Ooh.
that's so dangerous.
So, but how frequently do you go to a class in Hogwarts?
That's what
I
we're trying
believe
to
it's
figure
like
out.
5 or 6. Is it 5 or 6?
5 or
they do
6
have doubles
classes
the whole
a
time?
day.
Oh, okay. We have high school very differently then.
How many classes?
You had
because
yeah.
because aren't
We
the
would have
classes
50-minute
only
classes.
Aren't
Yeah,
the
that's
classes
how we did
only
too, but-
in an hour? They're only 50-minute or an hour, right?
An hour.
Right?
Are you
So-
in Harry
in
Potter?
Harry Potter? They're an hour.
I think they were saying an hour.
Because
Okay.
Hermione would
Oh yeah,
show
it
up.
was
Oh,
1
but
o'clock to.
then they do eventually have double potions. So it's a
yeah, they have
2
doubles,
hour
and it's like in college too. You could do different days,
Mm-hmm.
study hall.
I think you're right. I think it would add up, because what I loved is at the end of this story,
5 hours a week.
I realized however old Harry
20
Potter
a
is,
month.
he's that old plus 3 hours.
So
No,
And
how
Hermione-
is it 5 hours a
200
week? She's doing 3 classes at once.
but she's going. So let's say roughly between like 240 and 360 hours. How many days is that?
Oh. Let's do some
I
math.
do that.
I got to there, and then my brain gave up on me.
That's impressive.
Let's
That's
say the
impressive.
maximum. That's
If you're
pictures of my
right, because
dog.
if it's 5 classes a week, let's say that's the low ball. 5 classes a week
15.
is 20 a month.
15 extra days.
15 extra days for a year.
That's not
compared
that
to a
bad.
365 day year.
That's not
yeah.
that bad.
So like she might technically, if she would
Even
keep
if it's
doing it.
if you multiply that by 3, that's still 2 or 3 months. It wouldn't be noticeable,
Right,
but
yeah.
it's a very good point. Because she is old, she's technically slightly older than them
I
now.
love that.
That's very an interesting, yeah.
Yeah, and that explains why she's more mature. She's going through stuff where she's like,
Also-
Harry, what?
Girls develop much differently.
Yes, they
than
do.
boys.
Oh, I know this. I know this. I remember
It's rough
like
to be a 13-year-old
I remember
girl.
like actively
It
noticing
sucks.
it while I was 13
Yeah.
in school, like not just physically, but doing something that I was like, oh, cool. And I like looked up and I was like, oh, my brain is at a different place than that girl right over there. Like and I
She's got her
remember,
nose in a
like,
book. She's like,
Yes,
ugh.
I remember like being like, oh, okay, I'm still like a child, and there are girls walking around that are like,
What
I'm
year
turning
was
into a
this?
woman. When I was like 13, 14, I'm
Yeah,
saying
I
I
was-
remember observing that.
I was the chick that faked diarrhea to get out of class.
Cool, man.
I went to an all-girls private school.
Nice.
That was the
I
only
had
solace
friends
I
like
could
that.
find.
Yeah.
That was me.
Nice. It's such a Ron thing to do.
It
Right?
is.
It
I
is.
would just
Skiving. I'm going
read
to skive this
behind my
class.
textbook.
Skiving?
That's what they call it. That's
Diarrheaing
wagging.
in your pants?
No.
Oh, lying?
Cutting class.
Oh,
Is
cutting
what?
class.
Skiving
Playing
in
hooky.
Britain and wagging.
Wagging.
Yeah.
Skiving
Australia.
sounds like a sci-fi term. Wagging sounds. I won't get
Like
into
a
it.
British term, yeah.
Yeah, padfoot.
So I want to talk about how much we love Padfoot, Prongs,
Yes.
and Mooney because they would have been. I mean, can we cast young them?
Yes.
Okay.
I will say that I want to go back to, let's hold the thought for the casting for a second because I want to go back to this. I totally agree with you that the movies they weren't there with that, and these characters are so fun
But
to
it's a-
learn about. But I think that at least my experience so far with the Harry Potter story, it's ultimately not that important to Harry's story. It's like fun side stuff to learn about young James Potter and Sirius Black and Wormtail and.
I would like to know
yeah.
how you feel when you're done with the series.
Sure, and I like I want like all I'm saying is like I'm wondering, I'm looking forward to like it's the thing of like look how important is the rise and fall of Anakin Skywalker to Luke's story?
Very different.
That's all I'm saying. It's
Comparison.
like it's you know.
Because the point is that later in these books, without spoiling anything,
I know that there's so much of Harry Potter's life has
But
been
those
determined
cha-
by James and Lily Potter
but
and like what they
also
did in school. Yeah.
Lupin and Sirius and the history of James and the history of Lily and the history of Snape and the history of
You're so right. That's such a good avenue to
Peter
explore.
are very important to not just Harry but the plot.
To the world.
To the world
Towards the
and
world.
to
Okay.
some of the weight of the stories that are
Is
told
it-
later.
Have you guys watched these cartoons? Is it the same as Avatar: The Last Airbender and then The Legend of Korra?
I haven't seen Legend of Korra.
Okay, so Legend of Korra is like the next generation, and Aang from Avatar: The Last Airbenders like eldest son is like training Korra. So
Got
there's
it,
like this
got
thing
it.
of like Korra is familiar with the young kids on their adventures from years ago because it like changed the world, but you can still kind of view them as two separate, but they're very like
100%.
they
But
need
you know what
each
it means?
other.
I think the reason why Fantastic Beasts isn't resonating as well as it should is because we are going away from the one thing that's important to the wizarding world, and that's Hogwarts. So you were able to go back to this. Lupin dropping that gorgeous nugget where I was like, oh, the Whomping Willow was planted my year.
Sure.
I was like, what? That is cool.
Yeah.
Like he's painting a picture of what Hogwarts was like back then and how accommodating they are. Like
I
it would
feel
so
like-
have been the teacher helping him out. with
Total.
that.
I feel like with prequels, and we could go on and on about
Yeah.
this in other ways.
Solo was average.
So I really liked it, but and I can't even get into it. I already had a whole thing on
Rogue
what the
One's
Fridays
better.
with. It's
Yeah, Rogue One's better.
it's not.
Rogue One's better.
No,
Are
it's
you
not.
Rogue One's better.
crazy?
Rogue One is better than Solo. Solo is still enjoyable.
Okay, I can't. We
Thank
don't
you.
have enough
You know what?
time. We only
I
have 15.
I award you points. No longer punished. No longer in the doghouse. Now it's me and Maude running the show. See you later, Hermione. Boom.
I'm not doing
What?
that.
Okay.
No.
All right. Okay.
We only have 15 minutes, so I'm not going to argue with you why Rogue One is a Frankenstein together, barely a movie.
At least I felt something during Frankenstein. You know what I'm saying?
felt a little as well. But the problem
Guys,
with
kids,
prequels in general. Prequels in general.
Give points to Rachel for that because she fired back with, I wasn't in a Solo. And I heard everything. It was very clear and it was all under her breath and super quick.
I'm going to just completely hijack the conversation and put it over to Angelus here to observe the end. We would not like the Marauders. They were jerks. And this is what I love
Maybe.
about the Marauders,
Maybe.
is perspective.
They are.
Yeah.
But
They're not counted
they're
as heroes.
They're kind
Yes.
of shitty
They're
teenage boys.
the Weasley
Adam
twins,
Driver
yeah.
is Snape. Oh my God. Adam Driver is Snape.
I mean,
Fight
that's like,
me.
That's like too
Yeah.
perfect.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
And he's even got that bubble box voice. He talks like this.
Oh yeah, it's perfect.
What are you
but
doing?
here's the thing
Yeah.
that we would need for a prequel, which was my original point, is that it can't just be about them. We need other characters that are
Yes.
well-rounded because we know what happens to them.
Right.
And that's why Rogue One doesn't work, because there aren't any characters in that movie.
Oh, we're going
disagree.
back there when we were
Chirrut
moving.
Imwe, Baze Malbus.
Anyway, so
Cassian Andor is like one of the best characters ever introduced in the
but
saga.
why does he
Boom,
make
boom,
the
boom, boom.
decisions that he makes? They don't
Because
make
he's
sense.
been in this fight since he was 6 years old. Some of us don't have the luxury of choosing.
I love Diego Luna,
Done.
and
You
he's
nailed
my
it.
favorite part. Can
nailed
we
it.
Back on
cast
track.
young Marauders?
Yes. So
Please.
okay, we've got
Ethan Hawke as Mooney.
too old.
No, young. I'm not thinking about time.
No, I want
Oh.
real people. No, this
You
has
want
to
people
be
now?
high school.
Sorry,
no, I don't
Rachel,
know any
sorry.
young people.
So I think we can get an Adam Driver-esque. Okay, so if they're under 30, it might help. Adam Driver, is he over 30? Probably.
he is over 30.
He's still a
Yeah.
little bit of a baby face.
Oh, really? When's his birthday, Aaron?
Yeah, when's his birthday, Aaron?
I
That's
sent Aaron a
enough
really
for me.
good.
His birthday on Friday, so I could
Tom Holland?
Tom Holland. I
shouldn't
sent Aaron
know
a
that.
really good piece of Raylo fan art. That's the Lovers tarot, and it's so good. I'll tweet it.
Adam Driver type, Ethan Hawke type for who? Lupin?
Yeah, Lupin. If we can
Mm-hmm.
go back in time, please.
Can we? I always
I could
cast.
turn
Can
back
we
time?
use a time turner to cast this movie?
Yeah. Well, wouldn't you want them all to be Brits, though?
No.
How many American actors can pull off a convincing British accent for you, Maud, or an
James
Australian
Potter?
accent?
Ooh.
If he dyes his hair dark
Ooh.
and puts on glasses,
Ooh.
Taron Egerton from The Kingsman.
I'm into that.
Okay.
I'm into
Got
that.
that clean face,
Yeah.
Yes.
scruffy, pop a bit of glasses.
I
on
can
him.
see that.
Good looking, that if he's kind of a dick but like smiles at you, you're like,
Ooh, I just
okay.
I
just went away.
feel like I cast him in a lot of things, though. That
Yeah.
little Taron Egerton is under my skin for some reason.
I
like
just
that.
had.
How old is he? So
He looks like he could be in high school.
but he's like,
Yeah.
but he's like late 20s,
Mid?
20s,
I wanna
mid
say
20s.
mid.
I think he's. I think
All right,
he's.
so he's older than you. You guys can date. That's fine.
I think he's probably.
Nice one.
He's looking a little tired in that Robin Hood trailer, though.
Oh, he's in Robin Hood. I haven't seen that yet.
KJ Appa's James Potter. Okay. I
This
just.
is a-
Oh,
yeah.
Cole Sprouse. That would be good. Cole Sprouse's Lupin would be good.
As Luke, okay,
Yeah?
I deal with it.
You're into
So
that.
It's,
I know.
it's funny because
I love,
it's like
I love Cole Sprouse. I'm glad he doesn't watch the show because I
we
have
are.
met him. And
We're
I
going
don't
through to
want
see
him
where it's
know.
like, what kind of high school students can we apply to this? And I feel like Riverdale is the very
Is a good
successful
one.
high school-esque show that is happening at the moment.
I-
Which means the
Hey.
redhead would be Lily.
We got to cast.
Who's-
Tom Holland as somebody.
Cheryl.
Tom Holland. Would he be a good James Potter?
I'd love to hear him with his English accent.
I
Yeah,
could see
yeah.
that. If we're using a time turner, Matthew Good as literally anyone.
You've cast him a number of times.
I
now.
love him.
That's very good.
Probably I'd pick him as Sirius maybe because he's super intense.
I'd pick him as Longbottom. Hot Longbottom. 2.0.
What about Peter Pettigrew? Dane DeHaan.
No, he needs to be a little
pretty good.
bit more, like, he's angsty. Like, he'll shiv you, you know? Like,
Dane
Dahan will shiv
Yeah.
you.
Dane DeHaan.
Have you seen Chronicle or The Amazing Spider-Man 2?
Yes, but he's not weak. He's disturbed.
He's a little.
Difference.
He could also do Snape if he dyed his hair. If we were going younger, I want to continue this on Twitter because we only
eyes
have a
are too
little
blue.
bit more time.
So if we have to put the cast of Chronicle into Harry
Ooh.
Potter.
Michael B. Jordan is James Potter.
yeah,
Yeah.
100%.
Well, actually, the cousin, Alex Russell, who
Okay.
plays Garrett. Garrity?
What does he
The
look
white guy?
like?
Garrity? The cousin.
The other white guy? Okay.
Looks like James Potter.
All right. Give him James
I
Potter.
want.
and then,
I want Michael B. Jordan to either
be
be
Lupin?
James or
Sirius?
Sirius.
Yeah.
Serious.
Yeah, that'd be
Sirius.
good. Oh yeah, smoldering.
Yeah, huh? You know what's
Serious?
I
So
can't talk
here's the
about him
thing. Ooh, so talking about young Marauders, I feel like James would probably not be on my radar. He's a jock. Okay, don't care.
up. He's a jock for Quidditch.
I know, but like, and he
can
has
catch my
Lily,
snitch.
and there's a whole.
Wow.
Wow!
I don't even know what that means.
I'm glad.
don't
Okay,
even know what that means.
I'm gonna continue. You have Sirius, who's kind of like the angry, smoldering bad boy,
Yes.
like Christian Slater in Heathers. Sort
You
of.
cannot not think of 90s.
Yes, I know.
Yeah.
That's how old I am.
Oh my God. You know who'd make a great Severus Snape? A young David Bowie. Right?
I'm getting my labyrinth tattoo on Friday.
Oh, are you really?
Yes.
Doing it.
What?
What is it again?
The ballroom.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Yeah, in a
In the
same
silhouette.
style of this. Yeah.
Cool.
You remind me of the babe.
And oh, thanks. But then Lupin's like the sensitive, tortured one. Like that is a teen romance show
Sure.
waiting to happen.
Sure.
It's like if Teen Wolf took a real dark turn.
Yeah.
And he was like, he felt stuff. You know?
And
Yeah.
they're all animorphs, which is awesome. They could all turn into animals. It's great. And go
Can-
fight crime.
Can we read Animorphs on this show?
I would love to. Hey, for real? I would love to read a goddamn Animorphs book on
I
this
never
show.
Can we
did.
read the last one?
Can we track down and either read the first one or the last one?
the first one and the last one because they're short.
Are they really? Yeah, first one is
Yeah,
2
they're
weeks, the
short.
last one is 2 weeks.
We do it during 1 week.
We could do it during 1
We
week.
could
have
do 4.
never
We
read
could.
it.
Do it in an off week.
And an
I'm
off
We
week.
could
Excited.
do. We could do a month where we could do the first one, the Andalite Chronicles.
I don't know what that is.
Which is about the aliens who give him the power.
Did you read all the Animorphs books?
I stopped at a certain point. I aged out at a
I
certain
read
point.
Goosebumps.
I would
read
like
all
to
the
do a Goosebumps as well.
Fear Street, which is sexy Goosebumps.
Okay.
I'm listening.
It's for teens.
I'm listening.
It's sexy.
The question in the
Murder.
chat right now is, how did you feel about the end of the book? I told Rachel this when I popped out of here earlier this afternoon. I just finished it, and I thought I was going to make it without tearing up. And JK threw that curveball where she threw that Sirius Black letter at the end, and I choked up. And I was
How
like, God.
long have we got, by the way? I really wanted to do a reading.
We have time.
Okay.
And I just
5 minutes. 5 minutes.
5
Aaron
minutes.
says young Christian Bale is James Potter, very in. Like Lori. Yeah, okay.
So this is going from
What page?
the top of 410. Hector, you're so great. Maybe you want to help me out with it. I'll just do all the dialogue, which there's not
Boy.
much of it. From Harry stepped outside again and edged around the cabin.
Okay, what kind of voice do you want?
It's narrating.
That's all it is?
There's
Until what?
there's a couple of Harry dialogue, and I'm happy to
Okay.
jump in, but there's not much.
Okay. Do you want like a
Ominous.
ominous?
Thank you.
All right. I was going to give you
So
Princess
let
Bride,
me paint the picture. This
Grandpa,
is
but all right.
This is the second time around, and Harry is waiting and knows that he's going to see his father cast the Patronus.
Oh,
This is what got me,
no.
guys. This is what
Oh, that made you tear. That made you tear up.
This was the writing
Epic, yeah.
was just a good old punch in the gut.
There was some really damn good writing in this.
Yeah.
All right. Harry stepped outside again and edged around the cabin. He could hear yelping in the distance. That meant the Dementors were closing in on Sirius. He and Hermione would be running to him any moment. Harry stared out toward the lake, his heart doing a kind of drum roll in his chest. Whoever had sent that Patronus would be appearing at any moment. For a fraction of a second he stood, irresolute, in front of Hagrid's door. You must not be seen. But he didn't want to be seen. He wanted to do the seeing. He had to know. And there were the Dementors. They were emerging out of the darkness from every direction, gliding around the edges of the lake. They were moving away from where Harry stood to the opposite bank. He wouldn't have to get near them. Harry began to run. He had no thought in his head except his father. If it was him, if it really was him, he had to know, had to find out. The lake was coming nearer and nearer, but there was no sign of anybody. On the opposite bank he could see tiny glimmers of silver, his own attempts at a Patronus. There was a bush at the very edge of the water. Harry threw himself behind it, peering desperately through the leaves. On the opposite bank, the glimmers of silver were suddenly extinguished. A terrified excitement shot through him. Any moment now,
Come on.
he muttered, staring about.
Where are you, Dad? Come on.
But no one came. Harry raised his head to look at the circle of Dementors across the lake. One of them was lowering its hood. It was time for the rescuer to appear, but no one was coming to help this time. And then it hit him. He understood. He hadn't seen his father. He had seen himself. Harry flung himself out from behind the bush and pulled out his wand.
Expecto Patronum!
He yelled.
Patronum!
Oh, cool, that's actually your dress.
That's amazing.
Thank you.
Very nice. Very
Wait,
nice.
no,
Okay.
keep
We're
going.
not done?
No.
Shit, 410? Okay.
411.
Gotcha.
I'll tell you when to stop.
And out of the end of his wand burst not a shapeless cloud of mist, but a blinding, dazzling silver animal. He screwed up his eyes, trying to see what it was. It looked like a horse. It was galloping silently away from him across the black surface of the lake. He saw it lower its head and charge at the swarming Dementors. Now it was galloping around and around the black shapes on the ground, and the Dementors were falling back, scattering, retreating into the darkness. They were gone. The Patronus turned. It was cantering back toward Harry across the still surface of the water. It wasn't a horse. It wasn't a unicorn, either. It was a stag. It was shining brightly as the moon above. It was coming back to him. It stopped on the bank. Its hooves made no mark on the soft ground as it stared at Harry with its large, silver eyes. Slowly, it bowed its antlered head, and Harry realized.
Prongs.
He whispered.
There it is.
Oh.
That for me Yeah.
That's pretty good.
That was
And
such
that's
a
why
moment.
knowing who that Prongs is part of it is it's a character moment.
Yeah.
Also, later Dumbledore says something when he's talking to him after the Time Turner and says, "You did see your father.
Yeah.
He was a part of you," and that. I mean,
Oh, Dumbledore always does that like end of book drop. Where
yeah,
you're
and
like,
you're just
"Whoa."
like Dumbledore.
Yeah.
School's
killing
almost
me.
over, so you should know your father
man.
loved you very much.
House points for Prisoner of Azkaban. Jabba Boogie Girl gets 100, well deserved. Amy with 165, Hector with 237.
Nice. I think I'm in the lead. I won. All right. Nice. We don't have to.
Woo!
Fuck. Drum
It's not, I
roll,
don't care. I don't
please.
care. Oh wow! That's you won last one as well.
332. 332. You know why? It's because
Thank
Maud
you.
and I were picking on you. That's why. That's what happened.
Yeah, don't be a bully.
Yeah. That's the
Don't
lesson.
tell them about the freaking fireball.
Yeah.
Got personal.
Hey, let's see. At least at the end of the movie, he got it. That was nice.
I don't think I would have done
Nice
that.
little
Oh, we have
freeze
to
frame.
announce our next book.
Oh, yeah.
I can't wait till, I think Luna is in book 4, so that'll be
Ooh.
after, what's next month? June. So July will be Harry Potter.
And the Goblet of Fire.
And Goblet of Fire.
Far out.
It's
Poor-
gonna be great.
Can we get what's his face on the show? Cedric Diggory. I just need to hold him. Aaron.
Audible gasp from Aaron, fan of all teen romances. Me too. Okay, so
What's his
it's
damn name?
Ralph Pattinson.
yeah, Robert Pattinson.
Wow, that's who you guys were trying to come up with? The guy from Twilight, Robert Pattinson? The, like,
I think you mean the guy from at least 2 David Cronenberg movies.
yeah, like amazing actor, Robert Pattinson.
He's in 2, right? He's in the limo one and
He
another
actually
one.
should have been in this movie. Cedric
limo
Diggory was
one.
the seeker in this movie, and
They didn't, yeah, they hadn't cast him yet. Okay,
Mm.
but our pick for June.
Butterbeer.
We've been teasing this a bit lately, but we're finally going back to hard sci for a month. We're gonna be reading Don't
No.
Sing. Don't sing. Do it in your head. Jurassic Park by Michael Crichton. Just think it.
Jurassic Park by Michael Crichton. There's dinosaurs
Oh,
coming
you know
out of
what we
frogs
should
DNA.
do? We should go to see Jeff Goldblum play jazz
Yes, we
and talk
should.
to him
Oh, guys,
about it.
guess what? I'm probably not going to make it next week because I'm going to Hawaii to interview the cast for Jurassic
World.
World.
Nice. So read up to
Now you can
page
take all my points away.
79 in our copy, which is you will stop at the section called Malcolm.
Ooh.
Don't forget, we are also on Goodreads. Search Alpha Book Club and come discuss with us. That's where I want to find the other 2 books that I will be reading while we're reading this book.
Whoa, you read
hold
3
on.
at a time?
Yeah.
I hit you up on that as well. I think I.
You sent it to me, right? Yeah. If you haven't told a friend to sign up for 60 free
What are you
days of
doing?
Alpha
Come
yet,
on.
come on.
What's
Use
happening?
the promo code PADFOOT.
Oh, I get that now.
If you're interested in joining us on the show,
Cool.
we don't bite, unlike dinosaurs. Just let us know on Twitter.
Yes,
with
girl, that's not
at
even in the
Join
script.
Team
She ad-libbed
Alpha
that.
With the hashtag.
Did you just say
She
that?
ad-libbed.
Amazing.
I do that.
That was so cheesy.
Both of us were like, oh my
I
god.
got out of my seat like, what? We don't bite, but dinosaurs do? All right.
Use the hashtag Alpha Book Club and lost the numbers. AKA Lee will get you all set up. Send us your book recommendations. After this, we're reading Harry Potter, but then there's another book at Nerdist, at Join Team Alpha and Geek and Sundry, went backwards with the hashtag Alpha Book Club. Also, let's do more young casting on
Okay.
Twitter with Alpha
Let's
Book
do
Club.
more cats. Done.
do it.
More cats forever. Thank you guys so much for joining us. We love you all. We'll see you next week. Bye.
Young Ian.